Hello world, it's Dr. Keith, the VR doctor, coming to you today not from Facebook Spaces, but from Oculus Medium. Now, Oculus Medium is a clay modeling tool that I've used to create some of my anatomy models, and I'm doing this today to try and demonstrate one of the functions that I talked about before about how virtual reality could capture the entirety of a consultation. Now, I'm going to do a little demonstration by doing a diagram of anatomy. So let's say for the sake of argument, you're in here with me, which I can do, but for the purposes of this, I'm recording the entirety in virtual reality. And when I'm playing this back, you're going to see me looking straight ahead, but I'm going to move the camera as I go. And this is an example of what patients might be able to do if you've had a consultation, not specifically in modeling a tool, but they might want to come back in and see what happened when they came in. So I'm going to get my Tony Hart artist on here right now, and we're going to pretend that you are in here with me, and I'm going to be talking to you about kidneys. So the kidney is an organ of balancing, of homeostasis in the body. It helps balance the levels of different electrolytes and other products in the body, and then helps eliminate them from the body along with balancing the levels of fluids. So it's not an excretory organ as such, it's sort of a balancing organ. And there's lots of people that can have kidney problems with high blood pressure and kidney disease as they get older. And so I might want to explain to you what it is like or what a kidney might look like and how it functions. So today I'm going to do a diagram of the anatomy of the kidney. Now, to help me with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a reference model first. I do this by pushing down, and then I've got some of them here, so I'm going to put it to the side here so I can refer to it. And just up there is a little picture, which I can look at if I need to. So I'm going to get rid of that just now, and we're going to start drawing. So if I was with a patient right now, let's say, well, let's start by drawing ourselves a nice big kidney in front of you. So you could be sitting on my shoulder or one side. I'm going to choose the color. I got a little color dropper, and the really nice thing is I can choose it off here. And let's start by drawing just to the side a great big kidney. There you go. If I turn it around, you can see it's a little bit rough. It looks like a kidney to me, at least most of the kidney. I'll just fill out the center section here as well. And because this is an object, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smooth down the outside because I'm a perfectionist that way by using this to make it look nice and smooth. So I'm not going to do it on this side, and the reason being is I'm going to show you the internal anatomy of a kidney in a moment. So there's the picture, there's that. Now, how do I flatten this out? I have a tool to do some flattening, which I'm going to do right now, and I'm going to make it really huge. So that's probably not about as good as it can get, and I'm going to flatten this like that. And you can see how, by me doing this, I'm making it look as though it's a slice through the kidney. Again, not perfect. I'm sort of modeling with a large tool here. So you can imagine that's the outside of the kidney and that's the inside of the kidney. And I'm now with a patient, I'm now going to start drawing some of this diagram as well. So the kidney is comprised of collecting ducts which empty into a collecting system, which passes down and through the ureter into the bladder. So let's maybe start by drawing well, let's try with the renal cortex, which is this part around the outside, and then the renal medulla and the collecting tubules, these sort of columns that form. So why don't I draw some of those first for you? Okay, we're going to get the clay, we're going to get a dropper, I'm going to choose a slightly different color, and I'm going to shrink the size of the drawing tool, and we're going to start by just drawing some, oh, that's a bit big, isn't it? These, well, we'll just go with this. These are some collecting tubules. Yeah, these, just here. So the renal cortex, renal medulla, and these are the renal pyramids just here, where the concentration and balancing all happens. So from there, it goes into collecting ducts, and I'm going to stick with my tool. I'm just going to use a different color. We're going to go for the yellow for the collecting ducts, and they start in these small collecting ducts called minor calyces, and then they form up into major calyces, and then the renal pelvis, and then the outside world. So let's just get going with the minor calyces, forming up into major calyces. So minor, major, and then get this a bit bigger. We've got the renal pelvis just here. and then we get a little bit larger again, and whoa, there you go, the ureter. So we've already got a little bit of a diagram, and you can see in 360. And if you're here watching on the outside, you can have a look at the outside. Okay, so what else does the kidney have other than these parts? Well, it's obviously got a blood supply, it's got a renal artery and a renal vein. I'll just quickly draw those in there, because for some people, high blood pressure can be related to the matter of the kidney, but also damage to these arteries as well. So I'm just going to quickly draw an artery. And here we go. Let's get an artery coming out here, nice bright red. And let's get a vein, another bit of color. Look like I've got the right color there. There we go. And then let's get the vein in place. Okay, there you go. So there we have a kidney with the reference diagram there as well. Now, if you're a patient, you might, through the act of me doing this, get a much better understanding of what's going on. I can then share this with you. I can share this to Facebook. I can use this in Facebook Spaces. I can export this model for use anywhere. And even more interestingly, I can export this as a 3D model for printing. So I can actually give this model to a patient. Will that help understanding? I believe so. It certainly helps my understanding of anatomy being in here. And also I hope that this will demonstrate to you what it's like to look at a 3D recording. A 360 recording, which means that you can come back later and view it from any angle. Anyway, it's goodbye from now. Maybe I'll bring this into Facebook Spaces next time so you can see the end-to-end of how this has worked. So for the moment, this is Dr. Keith, the VR Doctor. You can follow me on Twitter at the VR Doctor, or join VR Doctors on Facebook, or visit my website, www.drgrimes.co.uk. And apologies for the lack of lip movement, the slightly stern expression, and the funky haircut. Those are the only things that are available in my avatar. So goodbye now.